Monday. It's December. It was 70 degrees today here in Alabama, which was awesome. Bring on my co-host, Brian Gray, and Kyle May. Brian Gray, Kyle May.
Hey, what's going on?
Just telling the listeners that it was 70 degrees here today in Alabama. It was beautiful.
It's been raining like crap up here. It sucks. I got water coming through the floor, water coming in the walls. It's everywhere.
Kyle May, did you enjoy the weather today up there in Pisgah, Alabama? Kyle May. I'll make Kyle May call back.
Kyle May's not with us. He's lost out in the internet.
Yeah, he called in, but he lives in a little town called Pisgah, Alabama, and it's off the beaten path, so to speak. Not very many people there in Pisgah.
They don't get good reception out there, huh?
No, I mean, I think you have to plug into a satellite dish to use the cell phone. I think. I'm not sure. I've never seen pictures or I've never seen him do that, but that's what I'm thinking he has to. Hope he'll call back in. So what's
been going on down there in that world?
Where is that music coming from?
I don't know. Your board's going nuts.
Maybe that's what the problem was. Blog Talk Radio is hurting me. We can talk over it.
Yeah.
Nothing. Getting ready. I mean, it's been busy at Old Man's Garage, getting ready for the Indianapolis Trade Show. Got it all packed up on the trailer, ready to head out in the AM, make the 8-hour trek home for me, home to Indianapolis. I missed it sometimes. I don't miss it in the wintertime, but I'm not looking forward to the weather. What can we expect? What can we expect up there, Brian? What are you guys looking at cold-wise?
It's going to be cold. I think actually it's only going to be down in like the upper 30s, lower 40s. So during the day it should be all right. At night it's going to get a little cold. But you know what's going on up there during the whole IMIS show?
I know there's a bunch of extracurricular activities. Tell us.
Guns N' Roses. Guns N' Roses is playing, I think, Thursday night.
Where at? Market Square Arena is not even there anymore.
I have no idea where they're playing. I was talking to a guy last night. He said, "You going to the Guns N' Roses concert?" I said, "I don't know. I'm going to go up there Thursday and hang out a little bit and then come back Friday morning if I'm not too hungover."
But you're actually, you got somewhere to be Thursday night. Tell the listeners what you have the privilege of doing on Thursday night.
Oh, I'm going to go to the Lucas Oil Late Model Series banquet Thursday night. Go up there and rub shoulders with the guys. And from what I hear, it's supposed to be a pretty good party. Now,
I just want any listeners out there who have any connections to the Lucas Oil Late Model Series, that I would love to go. I've got some instructions to bring my wife's cocktail dress just in case. So if anybody's listening, Webb Dillard and his wife would like to go. We'll see how that works out. Also, there's so you're not going to be in town the whole weekend. There's also like a NASCAR versus IndyCar go-kart race, I think Sunday. Indy's a cool town. You've been there, hadn't you?
Oh yeah, I've been there a few times. It's not too far away from me, so I don't even really need to get a motel room. We just drive on up. It's a little over an hour away. Drive up, drive back. We're supposed to be taking some tricked-out limousine. My buddy down at Savannah Night, that's what they do down there is build them. And he says he's got this Brinks truck, armored car limousine. He's going to drive us up there in, so that ought to be pretty cool.
So let me get this straight. If you want to be like Hollywood, you have to have tickets to Lucas Oil Late Model Banquet, plus a limousine.
Yeah, but not just any limousine, dude. It's a real Brinks truck. Like, it's a damn Brinks truck. It's bulletproof and everything.
Kyle May.
And bad to the bone. I think a Savannah Night limo. It's a Savannah Night limo. If you go to that website real quick and check it out, it's like right on their front page. But the inside of it is awesome, dude. It's like a full nightclub.
I'll have to check that out. All right, well, let's move on. Caller, who we got on the line here?
Richard Ford, Speedway Videos.
Richard Ford, this is Web Dealer. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, sir. How about you?
Just Monday evening. I mean, who watches pro football, right?
Well, we did last night. The Green Bay Packers won. Woohoo! Go Green Bay!
Well, for my listeners who don't know, Richard Ford is, like he said, of Speedway Videos. He's a videographer in Tennessee. Covers a lot of Tennessee tracks. One of the better ones. You may know him and don't know it. He goes by, what do you go by on YouTube and 4M?
Flipper.
Flipper, isn't it? Flipper. Okay.
Yeah, so, Flipper 413 on YouTube, but everybody calls me Flipper.
Yeah, Flipper. How long have you been shooting the races in and around Knoxville?
Well, we moved here about 13 years ago. I started back up probably about 11 years ago. We did it down in Texas for about 4 years. Asphalt racing. Asphalt's for getting there, dirt's for racing.
That's right.
Absolutely. I already like this guy, Webb.
Yeah, he's one of the good ones. So you and I've met there at Bulls Gap at Volunteer Speedway. Well, just tell us a little bit of how you got involved in shooting racing and what it's evolved into to this point.
I used to be a race car driver, and the lady who videotaped our races only stayed on the leader. So if you weren't the leader, you weren't, and I was not the leader. I was a mid-pack to lap car. One day I blew my motor and brought my video camera, and I started filming the races and caught a big wreck, and everybody wanted to buy it, and that's how it started. I got out of the driver's seat and started videotaping at Corpus Christi Speedway, just by chance. And over the years, I just tried to give the drivers what they want. And then they want to see themselves. The fifth place car wants to be on the video. The 10th place car wants to be on the video. The guy that's getting lapped, he wants to be on the video. He wants to see his first race, his first win. And that's what I try to give them.
Well, that's a pretty good business plan, I would think. Because you're going to open yourself up to a lot more people who'd be interested in buying the video, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because if the winner doesn't buy it, and just say there's 5 classes, if the winner doesn't buy it, you're only selling them for $10 a piece. If you sell to the other 4 guys, you're only making $40. Now, that might sound a lot to a lot of people, but we all know how much this stuff costs. That's not paying for that stuff.
I got a quick question, though. Are there any, groupies involved, when you're the track videographer?
Groupies? We're talking groupies. Females? No, they all know my wife. And I'm not a good-looking guy. I'm a short, little, round man.
I'm just trying to figure out, how to play that game, with the video camera. Because I've been trying to do that a little bit, but nobody wants to. They don't want to take my video. I guess I'm just not very good yet.
No, we definitely don't get into video for the chicks, I don't believe. But okay, so you guys started out in Texas and you've moved to Tennessee. It's grown into a little bit more. You contribute to one of the largest dirt late model websites in our industry. Talk about that a little bit.
Dirt on Dirt. I'm assuming that he called me because of Sports Plus videos. Steve, I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name. I always mess it up.
I just say Gidges. I say Gidges.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, see, I messed it up, so I didn't want to try. But I guess he talked to him because since I've started at Atomic Motor Speedway Filming, Steve would come down for the UDTRA races, Tampa UDTRA races, and I'd ask him questions. He'd help me, and he got me to where I film now. He taught me how to film, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Taught me how to shoot, the best way to shoot, and of course don't just stay on the leaders, look for the race, because nobody wants to see one car just go around in circles. You want to look for the pack where there's passing. And Steve's the one that helped me with that, and then I guess he talked to them, and they gave me a call up, and I was shocked to hear from them. I'm my worst critic. I don't think I'm that good. I always think there's room for improvement. And liked what I did, and I started working for them. And now I travel around to Kentucky, North Carolina, Georgia, and Tennessee.
I mean, I've got a chance to work with you there, a volunteer once, and anytime I meet any of the other, like Steve, I mean, I got the utmost respect for all you guys, and I've always tried to, if I show up at a place and there's a guy there already, I try not to get in their way, try not to take what spots they're used to. I just, now I read not too long ago, I use Facebook. I use it with my day job. I use it for this. I mean, everybody uses Facebook in the racing industry. But you were catching some grief about not getting people on tape. And I don't know if that to be true or not true. I was just going to ask you, I mean, how much grief do you catch from the people that buy from you?
Well, when I travel out of town, I'm working for Dirt on Dirt. They send me there. They send me there to get what they want me to get, and that's my job, to do with whoever's paying me. It's not a disrespect thing to the other classes that run after the late models, but I run in-car cameras. So when the late models are done, they pack up, they leave. So I have to come down out of the stands and get my in-car cameras out, do the driver's interview, and it apparently upset this one driver very much that I have not filmed him this year at Boyd Speedway in the front-wheel drive class. It's upset him quite a bit. And for about, I believe it was 5 days straight, I got hate email. And, after 5 days, it starts to tend to get on to your nerves. And,
don't it?
Yeah.
Brian Gray, you've heard of Brian Gray through for him, I'm sure, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm a popular guy over there.
Well, same here. I don't know if you're meaning it sarcastically, but I am.
Oh well.
But
yeah.
no, I had enough of it, and then God, what was it? A week later, I didn't take a picture of somebody's car. Now, I'm not a photographer.
You just got claim for it.
Why are you chewing on my butt for not taking a picture of your car?
Kind of the
videographer. Hey, if you buy the video, he's in it, but he's only in it for 3 laps because he broke.
Yeah. Oh. Now that's why I brought you on. A lot of people, I don't think, realize that when we're out there, it's work to us. It's do we enjoy it? Yeah, we do enjoy it, but it's still work.
It's a passion, but
yeah.
When I go there for Dirt on Dirt, it's a job.
That's right. That's the point I was going to make. Especially when I go to local places where I have lots of friends here locally between Green Valley and Talladega, it's hard to tell my buddies no. When like you said, when you're there to do a job, I mean, it's not that you don't have time because we don't care enough about those classes. We don't have time because once we get done, we got to roll out and get this thing edited and shoot it up to Illinois to get it on, to let them guys get it online.
Yep.
You mentioned to me that don't you guys are still doing the Racer's Edge, aren't you?
Well, we just started. We did our Racer's Edge TV show. We started it in 2001, and we turned it off in 2003. And last Christmas, the week after Christmas, like 2 days before New Year's, we decided we'd start it back up, and we took a bunch of episodes down to our community TV channel. And it's not ESPN, it's not Speed, it's not Fox or any of them. It's just me putting the races on video for our community channel, which reaches about I think it says 160,000 subscribers if you've got Comcast cable or Charter. And I show full-length races, from front-wheel drive to the late models. I don't pick and choose. Well, I do pick and choose, but I don't choose just one class. The next step, the one I just finished last night, has 4 races on it from 4 different classes from 4 different tracks. Are you guys getting some good feedback from the people in the area? Are they watching it? Oh, yeah. When we started it back in 2001, my kids were the ones on the show. I have 3 daughters, and they did the results and stuff. I don't like being in front of the camera. So my kids did the results. They got recognized in stores and stuff. And, yeah, some of the guys at work have mentioned they've seen me on again, that my show's on. Of course, I'm not on the screen. You will hardly ever see me. The practice at 411, you'll see me in one segment of it. And then after that, you won't see me. You'll just see my hand in the microphone. I'm not comfortable in front of the camera. I stutter and everything else, so...
Join the crowd.
I get the stutter, especially sometimes my mind works faster than my pie hole does, I reckon. So what is going to be your? Obviously, you're done for the year. There's no more. You don't have any more races, do you?
No, I think we're going to do the January 1st race at 411 Motor Speedway. I think they call it the Hangover. Yeah, we're going to have that day off from work, so we'll go ahead and go down there and do that.
So you're going to beat me to the racetrack in 2012. I don't have anything until, which we'll, here in a couple of weeks, we'll do an Ice Bowl preview here. That'll be my first race of the year.
Isn't that like a common name for a race, though, Webb, you guys, is the Hangover? How many Hangover races are there?
I don't know, but there's 2 movies.
Yeah, there's... But you know what I'm saying. I know that, the DRC puts on the Hangover 100 up here. Now I'm hearing about another...
Isn't that enduro racing, though?
Yeah. Well, it's still racing.
Yeah. So. Oh, no. I didn't mean to imply it.
No, I'm just referencing that. It seems like there's a lot of... And I'm going to bet that it's the day after New Year's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, January 1st for me. It's a Sunday.
Right.
So.
January 1st, everybody's got a hangover, so they got to have a hangover race.
Man, it's going to be cold. I know it's going to be cold here the 1st of January. I know it's going to be cold up north there.
I'm waiting for somebody to have the drunk bowl.
I don't know if you could. There's insurance to cover that race, brother.
I don't know, because I've heard of people, thinking about doing it. You want to guess where I heard about it? I better not say, because it might destroy their insurance.
Yeah, don't say. I don't want
to keep that to myself.
Yeah, if you want to know, you can email Brian at. I don't want to.
I wouldn't put his email out there either. Insurance company.
No, don't put my. Actually, I think my email's on Facebook somewhere. That's where I get my hate mail.
Yeah, you gotta love that stuff, don't you?
Oh yeah, it's comical, but sometimes I wonder just how serious some of those people are.
Well, Richard, I want to thank you for coming on here. I know that you were a little apprehensive about coming on. I appreciate it. How can folks get a hold of you for past racing there in Knoxville area? What's the telephone number, email address?
You can call me at 865-219-8118 or flipper/13@comcast.net.
All right, you guys. Plus, you're all over 4M.
Yeah, 4M, MRM, Mid-South. Just look for Flipper or Speedway Video. Somebody posting with those 2 names, and that's me.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on tonight with us, and good luck with the hangover there here in a few weeks. First race of the 2012 season at the 411 Speedway. And maybe we'll have you on again. We're going to keep tabs with you, and if there's something happens in one of your racetracks, give me a call. We'll bring you on and get a first-hand account.
Okay, I'll do that. I mean, this wasn't as bad as I thought it might be.
No,
I'm a little nervous about coming on.
We're just on here talking.
Just talking racing.
Yeah, I thought it'd be like I was in front of a camera. It's not like that. I'm sitting here on my bed, and I'm relaxed. It's not as bad as I thought it might be, or I might be, I should say.
Well, you tell Mrs. Ford I said hello, and we'll probably cross paths as the season gets going next year.
And she's listening to you in there in the other room.
Hello, Mrs. Ford.
Hello, Mrs. Ford.
We'll talk to you. All right, that's Mr. Richard Ford with Speedway Videos.
Hey.
On the other side of the break, we're going to bring on Mr. Patrick Copeland. Patrick Copeland is a crew chief in the Fast Track Northeast Series. Former driver. He's a crew chief for his brother. We'll talk to him right after the break. Well, we're back. Brian, what do you think, my buddy Rich?
I was trying to catch him off guard there for a minute, but I think I just destroyed my credibility again.
No, you're fine. Richard's just one of them good dudes that we met last year. I showed up to the racetrack, and he was there filming. And like I said, if I show up on duty for Dirt on Dirt, I try to be respectful of everybody there, and especially guys that film there all the time.
Well, that's the way you got to be. You can't just come walking into somebody's house and kick their chair over.
No. All right, well, I'd like to welcome to the show Mr. Patrick Copeland. Patrick, how are you this evening?
Oh, I'm hanging in there trying to stay dry. Just like Mr. Hollywood there, me and him are sitting in the same flood zone.
Yeah, I think it's looking like a flood zone out there. Had to, go do some things this morning. I drove past the river in Hamilton, and there's 2 dams there. Well, there used to be 2 dams there, but they're non-existent right now. The water's so high.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I'm on the other side of the river, and I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Well, Patrick, you are a participant, a crew chief participant in the Fast Track Northeast Series. We spoke offline. You live closer to the Pennsylvania state line than you do to some of the Ohio tracks that Brian's familiar with. Tell us a little bit about yourself and the history of Mr. Copeland and Copeland Racing, and include your brother in that.
Well, it's been a family thing. I've done this pretty much my whole life. I don't know. I've never been much of a driver. I've given it a whirl here and there, and never really, couldn't really get out of my own way and was tearing a lot of stuff up. My brother said, well, we both had cars and I couldn't fix them both all the time, so you know how that kind of stuff works out. But yeah, my brother drives the car primarily now. He's been driving about the last 4 or 5 years exclusively. We basically run the Northeast touring stuff, Sharon Speedway, Pennsylvania Motor Speedway, West Virginia when it runs, Tyler County some. One of the northern tracks, we've gone to Eldora a few times for a couple of the great races. We've done some of the New York races at times. It just really kind of depends. I mean, I'm kind of a one-man band. I kind of take care of all the equipment and do all the traveling. And I've got normally a 300-mile drive just to get to my equipment. So it doesn't make it easy.
Now, Patrick, would you say that you are the crew chief now because your brother's a better driver or because you're a better mechanic? Because me and my cousin Rusty have this argument all the time.
It's not the driving ability that he's got that's better. His pocket's a little deeper than mine. Plus, I can keep the cars together, and he all he knows how to do is get in the car. I have to scrap him in half the time. So that ought to tell you something.
Gotcha.
It's the guy. He's been doing it a long time. We do it because we enjoy doing it. And we fight. A lot of guys that know us from the Northeast Series will attest to you. We're a show within a show sometimes at the track. So.
Well, you
that
said
always makes it fun, don't it?
Oh yeah.
So is it true that it's always the car and not the driver?
Yeah, always. It's funny. It's funny that was said because I was at Rayburn's last week during their seminar, and we were doing some experimental work with them in a crate car, and Rayburn he sat there and told my brother, "It's always the car, isn't it?" And my brother just couldn't say nothing.
Now, you told me some stuff about the Fast Track Northeast, that you guys have a good supporting cast of drivers that you. Of course, you always start 24, but you always have 35 to 40 cars show up to these races almost every weekend.
Yeah, that is correct. I mean, we at Sharon Speedway, our local home track that we run up there weekly. It has all the heavy hitters. You've got Max Blair, the guy that's been the National Weekly Champion 3 times. You've got Mike Taylor Jr., which he's another real super fast car. There's about 40 cars, nearly 40 cars every week. So it's basically a touring series race every week, just on for regular money. So you're really, you're running against good equipment. You better be on your game.
And we had a crate motor debate last week, and you said you'd listen to it. So down here, we got Naismith and we've got Fast Track, and they both seem to be working pretty well. I've been to races where they didn't quite fill a field sometimes. I'm not going to say which one, but up there, it's been a pretty decent experience, so to speak.
Yeah, it's had its moments. The first year that they had the touring series, it kind of took a little while to get some guys to do it. I mean, there was a lot of guys that were on the show. We were kind of in a situation where we'd been running steel block stuff and had a bunch of money tied up in our steel block equipment, and we were running out of places to race, so we kind of looked at it a little bit. I was kind of really opposed to it at first, but, I mean, I'm one of the people that, I want to go fast, and that's the point to it. But this stuff has been, it's been a good program. I mean, it's come a long way in the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, there's room for improvement, and just like any series, there's room for improvement. But that Northeast region is run, I mean, first class. There's no real gray areas. Their tech is really good. There's just really you know what you're going to when you go to their touring races. There's no funny business. No questions. I mean, like when we go to these touring races and we draw for our heat race, for where we're going to start for heat races and stuff. You don't have to be worried about time trialing and going, okay, did they manipulate the times to get their favorites in the front of the heat races? I mean, I'm not saying they do that, but there's been a few times I've been suspect to a couple of ongoings of that, but it's a very good run series. It's got a woman dedicated 110% to making it work, and she has.
Now, you're speaking that's Miss Vicky, right?
Yeah, Miss Vicky. Vicky Emick is just. I mean, she put her heart and soul into this thing, and I mean, she just took it by the horns and just. I mean, she's run with it. I mean, she has done for the local racers up there what nobody has been done. For anybody's done for years.
I spoke with her on several occasions early on this season through Old Man's Garage, and she sent me so much information. There's so many things going on there with the Fast Track Northeast. It just didn't fit into what we had planned for the season, and I don't know if it's something we can do next year or not. But just the organization. They have a program that had stuff for all the sponsors in it. Yeah, I get Mike's emails. I've not talked to Mike. What's Mike's last name?
Mike, I think his last name is Leon. I think is how it's said. It looks like Leon, but I'm not sure how. I just call him Mike because I don't know which way to say it.
They really rival. They really rival what Roby Helm does for the Naismith Series as far as PR and getting information out. I get Mike's emails. Seems like I get an email from Mike every other day from the Northeast Fast Track.
So they really is this Fast Track a different web from the Fast Track that ran that race at Atlanta? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, tell me a little bit more about it. Maybe it'll jog my memory. Do
you remember like a year ago they had they went and ran the dirt late models on the pavement at Atlanta Motor Speedway? And I thought that was Fast Track.
Stan Lester might have tried something like that. I mean, I don't.
I think Stan Lester did do that. I'm not 100% sure. I know he talked about it a couple of times, and that was the last I heard of it. So.
Well, I've
seen entry forms for it, and I was telling my buddies, I was like, man, we ought to go down there. And then I started thinking about it. I was like, because I've been on Atlanta Motor Speedway in an ARCA car, and I was thinking, I don't know about a dirt late model on Atlanta.
Well, I tell you what, let's ask, I've just brought into the program Mr. Wesley Outland. He is the voice of the Fast Track Southeast Series. Wesley, how are you?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you guys doing tonight on this Monday?
Well, I'm warm. They're wet and cold. What's it like in Carolinas?
I'll tell you what, man. We've had a couple of, I guess this is your in the dirt AccuWeather forecast. We had a couple of, we had a couple of spotty showers come in the area, but here in Smithfield or Selma, North Carolina, where I'm at right now, I think it's going to be a chance for a little bit of rain tonight, and there's more chances of rain tomorrow, but it's been cloudy and overcast, but it's been very, very warm. I will tell you what, man, this weather's been crazy. It's freaking November, December, and it's racing weather. It
was still 60 degrees this weekend. We could have had a race at Moeller's.
Right.
And that was up here in the north. But that was a hell of a weather forecast now.
I mean, yeah. Now, Wesley is into everything that shifts gears, burns rubber, burns gasoline. I mean, I think he'll call a two dogs racing after a treat if he calls everything on the Eastern Seaboard. the question was posed: did Stan Lester put dirt late models on a Atlanta Motor Speedway or something to that effect? Because it's escaped me. I don't know.
You know what? I'm going to actually... Stan's on Facebook right now, and I'm going to send him a message and ask him and find out straight from the mouth of babes if he really did do that. But, you know...
I know I'm not crazy. I know I've seen it because we thought about going down there and running it. So I was just wondering if it was the same thing. But does everybody grasp the concept of, you know, a dirt late model car running around that place? Because that's one of the fastest tracks around for a stock car.
It is. I'd want more car, I think, if I'm on Atlanta Motor Speedway. Meaning I want more between me and the walls than just sheet metal.
Imagine if one of those things got turned around, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that could be ugly right there, that's for sure.
Okay, I just sent... I just sent Stan Lester a message. Maybe he'll respond back. Me and him are pretty tight connected, so he normally responds back quickly to whenever I need to get with him or vice versa. But I'm gonna tell you what, Webb, man. You know, you got Pete Copeland on there. I believe, you know, he does the crew chief and he turns the riches for his brother Tom Copeland out of Warren, Ohio. One of the drivers on the Sweeney Cars Chevrolet Buick GMC Fast Track Northeast Circuit. And you know, I was listening in. Mike and Vicky are just two extremely tremendous people. They do an outstanding job. They do a great job with the Fast Track Northeast program. But, you know, this entire deal, you know, there's a reason why we're called the premier pro late model series in the country. And, you know, it's like Stan Lester says at the drivers' meeting that we always have, you know, if you want to go up against the best of the best, you got to go to Fast Track. And, you know, and I'm not knocking Neesmith or NDRA or anybody of that imagination, but I've just seen, and not just as being the announcer tooting my horn because they pay my paychecks and I love it, but I just see some of the most exciting races at the Fast Track circuit.
What is on the horizon for the southeastern portion of Fast Track? I've been hearing bits and pieces, but I have not heard anything concrete. Let us all know what's going on next season.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. There is a lot of great stuff that's in the works. You know, I'm so excited that I would just, man, I wish the friggin' racing season was already here. I'm telling you what. You know, that old saying, as soon as the holidays get here, by the time, you know, the kids are unwrapping gifts under the Christmas tree, us racing people, we're just waiting for the cars to fire up and get ready for racing time again. You know, but the Fast Track Racing Series, we've got a lot of stuff going on for 2012. I'd like to send a shout-out real quickly to Steve Summerlin, who's listening. He is the general manager at or the public relations director at County Line Raceway in my neck of the woods, Elm City, North Carolina. The backbone, Webb, where I first started calling dirt races before I started traveling with Fast Track and Ultimate. They have just signed an agreement with the Ultimate Super Late Model Series, which is the sister series of Fast Track Companies International, and we are looking to have them on May the 18th with the Ultimate Supers. The possibility of having the Fast Track crate late models or pro late models. Stan hates it when I call them crate. The Fast Track pro late models there as well. 22 races, Webb, are already locked in for 2012. We are going back to Eldora Speedway. That was a race that was on the schedule that a lot of people kind of missed out on last year. They were kind of like, well, why ain't we going back to Eldora? Because I'll tell you what, Webb, that's like the Daytona for Fast Track, to go to a place like that, to go to the track that was built by Earl Baltz back in the 50s, and now Tony Stewart, the three-time Sprint Cup champion, runs it now. You know,
and Roger
really
Slack
excited.
is doing the track prep there this year.
Yes, Roger Slack, and he's a super great guy. You know, he left the World of Outlaws, the World Racing Group, to go and take that job at the Eldora Speedway. And, you know, I tell you what, just a lot of great things happening with that. 22 races on the schedule. That schedule's done. If there's any tracks that are, or promoters that are listening, if you're interested in either a Friday night date, or if one of the races do get dropped, which we don't want that to happen, Webb. We want to do our complete, listing of all of our events for the season. But, they can contact the Fast Track office, fasttrackracing.com, on Facebook, Twitter as well. And we'll love to get with them. I know Stan loved to get with them and work it out to maybe put a race on the schedule But Ultimate Supers, I think there's already 14 County Line Raceway, which is announced this morning. Now 15 races on the schedule for them. I know I'm John, but I'm telling you, Webb, there's just so much stuff that is happening. You know, it's like what Stan tells me. Our fun time is when them cars are rip-roaring around the racetrack, kicking the left front wheels off the ground and slinging dirt in front of the fans, and they're having a blast. That's our fun time. The work goes in the wintertime to prep and prepare for the next season.
I'm ready to go race now. I mean, you just did like a whole Dr. Lou talk. I'm ready to put a wing on the back of my Colorado and go racing.
I was waiting for him to call a race coming off of turn 4 to the checkered.
Got a little.
Man.
Wesley is he's one of the best guys. Easy to work with. Him and I've worked together on a few projects between Fast Track and Old Man's Garage. I wish we could have done more. Fortunately, it didn't work out that way. But I've worked with him. But there's another rumor that I wanted you to kind of elaborate on with Fast Track Southeast. Is there television in the future?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. There has been a television production deal signed, packaged, signed, sealed, delivered. It will be airing on Fox Sports South, which is FSN South. All of the major networks cover it, Time Warner Cable, DirecTV, Dish Network, what have you. If you do not have FSN South, contact your satellite subscriber to order just to be able to see the Fast Track Racing Series. Call them up and tell them that's what you want to have it for. No, I'm just messing. 70 million households right now are going to be able to pick up the coverage of the Fast Track Racing Series broadcast. When it first got started, it was only going to be two 1-hour shows, which is only going to be 2 hours total. Stan Lester and the folks at the production company got together, and they have now agreed to do two-hour segments. They are going to be in the wintertime after the Grand National, and yes, it will be a televised program. The Grand Nationals, a totally different format also, Webb Dillard, that we've not done in the past year. One thing about my boss, Stan Lester, and I think Pete will probably chime in when you're ready, buddy, and agree with me. Stan loves to try things. Like you said, we're trying to find out if he was the guy that created the crate late model deal at Atlanta. He just has a knack for trying things, and one of the things that he wants to do this year is have a Black Diamond format. Now, if people are not familiar with the Black Diamond 125s, which are at the Tyler County Speedway in Milburn, West Virginia, which is normally in October, normally sanctioned by the World of Outlaws, basically what it will consist of for this year's Grand Nationals. Of course, everybody's got to go through the same format. So Pete, make sure you get Tom's car ready. Be ready to run the minimum of 12 races because you got to have them.
I'm all over that, my friend.
Now, Pat, with the announcement that they're going back to Eldora, that you mentioned, I mean, that you guys will be there for sure, wouldn't you? I mean,
we'll be making a return trip to Eldora. I mean, I've been meaning to kind of bring Stan's phone a little bit. I mean, let's see if he can maybe even lead us to him. You know, I've been noticing on some message boards that are Northeast-based that a lot of guys are hoping that maybe Stan will pick a neutral site or some place that neither sanctioning area is running in, you know, to not make the travel so much.
Well,
you know, I know Stan's he's kind of addressed it a little bit, because that was what, I mean, other than the fact that we had motor problems when our first meet, that kind of eliminated us from making the trip, but the travel expenses just, you know, I know a lot of guys in the Northeast region that just won't make that trip because it just costs entirely too much to do.
You're exactly right. And I'll tell you one thing that has been talked about, Webb, that a lot of folks have wanted to see happen, and it's been addressed on my radio show, Fast Track Weekly Live, presented by FK Rod Ends every Tuesday night. And by the way, Webb, we got to set up a schedule to get you on the show with me. Basically, you know, there's been talks in the past of, hey, man, let's have a north-south shootout. You know, the modifieds on asphalt, they do it at Concord, and they've done it at Caraway this year. Why don't Fast Track have a north-south shootout where the drivers from the north takes on the drivers from the south? And we're not talking about the Grand Nationals, because in the Grand Nationals we have that. But you've already got the height, the prestige with the Grand Nationals enough. That already has got a high bar. but we wanted to have a different event that is just for that sole meaning, and that race is in the works. There is going to be a north-south challenge. The tracks are going to be in a neutral location where it's going to be easier for drivers from the north, from the south to travel, and it should be one heck of a show.
I'm really hoping that they get Mineral Wells put back together, because that was a really good track for everybody. And I mean, I know they tried to shorten it up because the super guys complained motors were getting eaten there, but it probably racing-wise, other than Davenport stinking the last one up real bad, I mean, it was a pretty competitive race every time I've been there with the crate car.
Yes, it definitely was, and it was the track used to be 5/8 of a mile, and if people ever went to the old Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway, Music City Motorplex, that track's 5/8 of a mile. That kind of shows you how big that track is. They condensed it to 4/10 of a mile in Mineral Wells, West Virginia Motor Speedway. The track will be in operations for this year. They actually tried to get a couple of races in this season for 2011, but unfortunately, as you know, up in the Northeast, Pete, and Webb, you know, down south as well, and where I live at, we got affected a lot by the weather. The Ultimate Super Series got rained out 5 times trying to go to Wythe Raceway. So I mean, in Royal Retreat, Virginia. So the weather didn't really cooperate with them that much, so it kind of fell them behind. But the track will be on the schedule next year. Fast Track Northeast and the Fast Track Southeast will be running at West Virginia Motor Speedway. Also like to add another addition. We have not only with County Line Raceway joining the Ultimate Super Series program on May the 18th, we are actually proud to announce that the longest-running track in the state of Georgia, Tacoma Motor Speedway, has also signed on to be Fast Track sanctioned for 2012. New management is at that facility, and there will be 2 touring events there for the season.
Well, Mr. Outland, Wesley, I really appreciate you coming on this night. Stan Lester is lucky to have you. You basically come in here and you were magnificent. I can't even say that word. You were amazing for Fast Track. Plus the weather. You got a future in weather reporting also.
Yeah. I think I'll just stick to calling the races, man. I tell you what, man. I'm so happy, Webb, to be involved with a great series like the Fast Track racing organization. Stan Lester, Ron Haynes, Jerry King. Everybody that's involved with that program, Miss Mary Kay, all super great individuals. And, I hope to be there for many, many years to come. The Ultimate Super Series has took off this year as well. I think we're going to see some big things out of that as well. And I'm going to go ahead and let you know this as well. The Ultimate Supers, they're putting something together for television races as well. Not as quickly as the Fast Track program's taken off, but Ultimate Supers are going to have some big things happening too, and they're going to get some TV coverage also.
Well, that's right there. It is, race fans. If you're in the Southeast and you are near a Fast Track related speedway, go check them out. Fast Track puts on a good show. They get a lot of good big names. Davenport goes and visits the Fast Track races on occasion. Of course, what's the website, Wesley?
Go to www.fasttrackracing.com. Also go to Facebook, Fast Track Racing Series. Fast Track Northeast is also on Facebook. Go to fasttracknortheast.com if you live up in the north and want to keep up with that program that Mike and Dickie have. Follow us on Twitter, Fast Track _racing at twitter.com, or Fast Track Radio PR at twitter.com. That's the Fast Track Radio Network Twitter page. And tune in every Tuesday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern to Fast Track Weekly Live, hosted by myself. And we're going to, everybody, I wasn't able to give all the information out like I wanted to, Webb, because we've got that show for tomorrow. So if everybody wants to know about all the details for Fast Track in 2012, they definitely need to tune in tomorrow night, because Stan Lester is going to be on the total hour with myself, and we're going to definitely go through the entire new program with a fine-tooth comb. Real quickly, I know we got off subject with the Black Diamond format for the Grand Nationals. Webb, I'll cut it in there real quickly. What we're going to do for the Grand Nationals this year, and by the way, tracks are still chomping at the bit to get it, because there's going to be TV coverage there as well. Basically, we're going to have 2 nights of racing. There's not going to be no night 1 in the north, night 1 in the south, nothing like that. It's just going to be one weekend. Friday night heat races, qualifying, the B mains, all that good stuff, and then there'll be 2 A-Main features. We're going to take the top 15 from A-Main 1, the top 15 from A-Main 2, and then those 15 drivers will then battle it out for the World Championship on Saturday night. Also, new to addition for the Fast Track City Chevrolet Weekly Racing Division will be the Fast Track Weekly Challenge, the World Challenge, where the top 3 drivers in the points at all of our Fast Track sanctioned facilities will have the opportunity to race for some big, big money. Just some great, great things that are going on. And also kind of give you another initiative that want to run the Fast Track Weekly Racing program. The top 3 drivers in each track is going to be given cash money for being in the top 3 in the points. So there's a lot of stuff to go on. And again, tomorrow night, Webb, all the listeners that are tuning in, my regular listeners that tune in as well, like Brent Alford and Clayton, just some other people, tune in because you're going to get the in-depth information tomorrow night on the program.
Well, Wesley, like I said, I appreciate coming on. Whenever you need me to come on your show, I got to come with Brian Gray, though. We're a package deal.
Package deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Bring all 3 of y'all on.
All right. Well, that's Wesley Outland with the Fast Track. And when we come back from a break, we are expecting a call from Mr. Randal Edwards. And go ahead and introduce him on the other side of the break. Okay, Brian?
Yes, sir.
There we go. All right, race fans, we're back. And Wesley Outland, he is one of the best announcers, wide open PR guy. He'll get the word out. I mean, get the word out. He sold some tickets tonight, I promise you.
Yeah, he's one of them ones that once you hear him and you go to listen to one of their programs, he really gets into detail about things. And he's one of the few I hear him mention about every sponsor on every car that during the pre-races and stuff. He really covers a lot of information really good.
I worked with him at Modoc Speedway, which Modoc is a neat deal there. Brian Stewart runs that speedway. But yeah, we did a few video updates for Fast Track, and Wesley's a good announcer. He's a good representation of Fast Track, and Stan's lucky to have a guy like that. Brian, you back with us?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm here. I wonder how many Club 29 reps are out there listening to the show tonight.
Now, tell us a little bit about this Club 29 and who we're about to speak to when he gives us a call.
Well, if you don't know who Club 29 is, Darrell Lanigan, World Outlaws champion from last year. I believe Darrell won last year. And Randal was his crew chief for a long time there, and he's crew chief for Earl Pearson Jr. And from what I understand, we're going to get to ask him here in a minute, but I don't want to speculate too much, but he was with a so-called future star from Boyer Racing recently. So that's what I'm interested to find out is what's going on there.
He was with a future star of Boyer Racing.
I think so.
And that's referring to maybe a one Jonathan Davenport who has or hasn't announced officially?
Yeah, I think Jonathan Davenport's going to make some waves, but I got a feeling that Mr. Jared Landers is going to really set the world on fire.
Oh.
This dude's got the full deal. He's well-spoken. He's a pretty good driver, and he seems to have the sponsorship backing him up to push him to the front. And he was an awesome driver in the modified stuff.
Hey, Brian, let me throw one out there. One word that sums it all up for Jared Landers: fearless.
Oh yeah, the dude's freaking wide open, up against the wall. Don't matter if it's slick or whatever, and he's exciting to watch to me. And a genuinely nice dude. Like, I've talked to him a number of times, and every time you talk to him, he's on the up and up, and he just don't seem like some of those guys are out there backstabbing each other. He just don't seem that way. Plus, he's personable.
So, go ahead, Patrick.
Well, yeah, I run into him when he was still running the modified stuff quite well, and I went to I think it was actually Boone, I think is where I saw him at. And I walked up to him, and he talking like how I'd known him for years. And,
yeah.
It was actually amazing how easy he was to approach and talk to, because I've been around this for a while, and Brian, you've seen it. There's guys that you just can't talk to no matter what's going on.
Oh, I know. There's some guys that just absolutely won't talk to you, but I think that goes along with the competitiveness, with the sport too, because a lot of times, people they've got other motives when they're approaching you, and guys like that, when you're on that level, you just don't really know.
Yeah.
Is there an actual jealousy in the pits? I mean, honestly, but amongst grown men, is there a jealousy?
A jealousy?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So there's
there's some serious prima donnas out there, that's for sure.
Oh man.
Well, I know that. I definitely know that just from my.
I mean, I don't know if it goes as far as jealousy. I know there's ones that have some envy of other people's equipment and don't mind destroying it on the way through, but that's.
Oh, don't even get me started on that one. I thought I was in trouble after the Cribs episode. These guys are telling me, hey, if you want to be credible, you can't be doing stuff like that. I'm like, doing stuff like what? We just have fun, man. If you can't have fun, what's it even worth,
Hey, your JD and Coke was priceless, brother. It was.
Well, we shot about 5 or 6 different, we went through that 5 or 6 times, and let me tell you, that was done probably at 4:30 in the morning on a Saturday night, and after, you've seen how much we cleared out the liquor cabinet. My wife got a nice little birthday present, and she was a little ticked when we went through that, but there was a few of us here going through it, so.
Do I need to go ahead and do a Cribs?
Yeah, do a Cribs. We could do. How about a Copeland Cribs?
Oh yeah, come on down. You get to see antiquities. I think I have the oldest rocket in existence. I think I have number 3. It was built for Eckert and Miranda and up with it. It's actually in my museum.
Well, we're going to go to the phone lines. It looks like we got a caller. Hopefully, it's our next guest, Mr. Randal Edwards. Let's bring him on. Let's see who this is. Welcome to In the Dirt, and who I got on the line?
This is Randal Edwards.
Hey, Mr. Edwards, how are you?
Oh, pretty good. Just got in off a plane from Dallas, headed back home.
Yeah, I've been aggravating this guy all day, Webb. So I called him today, I guess, about 11 o'clock, just to make sure, because Jeff gave me the number. He said, here, just give him a call. And I call him up, and then he let me know he was going to be on a plane today. So thanks for taking the time out to talk with us, Randal.
Oh, ain't no problem.
So, what is this I hear you've been hanging out down at Boyer Racing?
At Boyer? Well, I helped Jared out a couple races there towards the end of the season, and we just, he needed a little help there towards the end of the year, and so I just, the last couple races, I just helped him out and finish out the year with him there.
So you've been in this business for quite a while, right?
Yes, sir.
You've seen them come and go. Who was the guy that really got you started doing this stuff?
Actually, there was a guy in Longview, Texas. It was the first guy I ever worked for. Was Doug Ingalls, and then worked with him for a couple years, and then I worked with a guy out of Louisiana named Ronnie Fauché. We run that Super Series for a while, and then I went to work at GVS with Joel Hedrick, and stayed with them, for 3 or 4 years there. So I've been around for a little while.
Been around just a little while. A lot of guys, they ask me how you get involved in something like this, or to make a career out of it. And obviously, I mean, you've worked with some pretty big dirt drivers like Earl Pearson and Darrell, right? Darrell Lanigan.
Yep. Yes, sir. Yep.
And is this? Do you think it's more of a kind of a clique thing where it's just a group of guys that kind of keep their own together, or is there very much looking outside the box for outside help right now?
Well, to be honest with you, I mean, like if somebody was interested in to get in this business. I mean, there's definitely people that need help right now. I mean, like, there's all kind of people, you know, needing help. And but I mean, like, when I first got started, I've always went to the races, and I just started helping that guy, you know, Doug Ingles. He showed up at a track, my local track, and didn't have no help. So it was kind of started from there, and I just, you know, been doing it ever since, you know.
Yeah. You work mostly on rockets, or what kind of chassis do you really prefer?
I don't really. I mean, like, I've been working on a rocket for about 10 or 11 years now. So I mean, you know, when I was with Earl, we was in Masterbuilt. So I mean, it's, you know, I pretty much, you know, work on anything, you know, but it just seems like the guys that I've helped mostly has been in rockets, you know.
Mhm. So like if we were over at Florence Speedway, you know, on a typical night, it gets kind of slick and dusty for the feature. What kind of springs and stuff you like to run on the front?
I mean, that just all depends on the car.
Mr. Edwards,
can you give me some details on what shocks and how much wedge I need to put in this car?
Mr. Edwards, there's history here. We had Jonathan Masters on, you know, he's the son of the Masters.
Now, daggone it, Webb, I almost had him talking. He was going to tell me what to put on it.
But he haggled that kid for about 10 minutes about shock packages that was on O'Neill's car. So.
Oh, really?
now it's my staple. But I was serious because I mean I've seen Darrell tear some guys up, and I'm not taking nothing from him because I think the guy is one hell of a race car driver. He's probably one of the best ever. But I just you know, got to get whatever information I can, and when you're talking to the crew chief of one of the best, that seems like a good place to start.
Now, Randall, tell us, did you hear? I'm sorry if I meant. Did you hear?
No, go ahead.
Any talk of a South Carolina driver maybe joining the stable down there while you were helping out Mr. Landers?
Well, I mean, last time. I mean, I don't know if it's been announced. I mean, but I mean, they've talked to you know, a few people, but I haven't heard who they've hired. I mean, I hadn't talked to Jared in, you know, 2 or 3, 4 days, but I know Dale was kind of stepping down and was kind of going to do his, you know, own thing and not race as much, and, you know, but still was going to race some, but he was going to do his school, you know, as much as he could, but as far as who they hired, I don't really know on that situation.
Well, side note, it's interesting that his name is in the fold. But do you think there was an interview that he was doing with him on the front stretch there at the North-South, or what was it, the Blue-Gray? What was that called? When Dale walked around into the front stretch?
Yeah, the Blue-Gray. Yeah, that probably started the interview. Yeah.
That was the beginning of the end.
I'm gonna say it was kind of awkward the next week or whatever, but you know, I don't know that.
But with the success that, and I'm just going to lean on you now for just your experience in the sport, the success in which Davenport's had in the Barry Wright car, this year was tough on him. He surged towards the end. I really thought he was setting himself up nicely for a big 2012 in the Barry Wright car. I mean, do drivers maybe look for the greener grass sometimes, and maybe they find it, maybe they don't?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know, like earlier in the year, I know kind of, you know, Davenport, you know, earlier in the year, I mean, he was kind of struggled a little bit, him and Barry, and then they kind of, you know, what we heard, they kind of, you know, had, you know, got a little aggravated each other, and then, you know, we heard that, you know, he was out of the ride. Then he goes and, you know, and goes on a tear and wins. I don't know how many he won there, but he definitely finished it off with a good note, that's for sure.
Yeah, he was winning some races there towards the back, running good.
Yep. But I don't know what they found there, but I mean, they definitely got on to something. I mean, he won in pretty much every condition too. I mean, like some slow, slick places, and you know, I mean, so you can't say that it was just fast and hammer down. That's for sure.
Now, you're recently departed from Lanigan Racing, right?
Yep.
And I know, and I mean, from what I understand, you guys were all still on good terms with each other.
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Did you get any? Did you have any suspicion that maybe something was going on over there, or what made you just decide to move on?
Well, I mean, I've been gonna want to do this deal that I'm doing, that this kind of like consulting deal for a while now, and I just kind of always been scared to kind of take that next step, or whatever. So, and me and Daryl have been together on and off for 10 years now. So I mean, it's like, we kind of just move on. It's time to move on, and then I just figured this was the right time to do it.
I gotcha. So there wasn't anything like see, because everybody's wondering, is Daryl moving on to the Rocket House team? I just asked you.
I mean, not that I know of, but I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't know that for sure, but I mean, that wasn't ever discussed with me or anything, so I couldn't tell you yay or nay on that.
And a few people, were thinking about it, because I think Josh is going to the trucks full time next year, so they're going to have to put somebody in it, and it seemed to me like that'd be the perfect choice, because he got the facilities, he's got the ability.
What about Hubbard?
I mean,
what about Hubbard doing that ride?
What's that now?
I don't know. You can't compare Austin Hubbard to Daryl Lanigan, Webb.
You can't, but I just know that Hubbard's a pretty decent driver.
I don't know what Hubbard's doing. I hadn't really heard either way what he was doing next year neither.
They've come out and said the Hubbard clan has come out and said that they'll probably run their own car. They have some things to discuss over the next 2 or 3 weeks, and I think there'll be an announcement, but nothing is concrete. I know I read somewhere he's going to be running out of their shop. They got their shop in order. It was just a suggestion for conversation.
Yeah, which I talked to his dad, and that's what last time I talked to him, that's what they were doing was, getting their shop ready to, work out of and stuff. So, yeah.
Well, your experience with Earl Pearson Jr., Earl's now driving a house car for Longhorn Chassis, Labonte's, heading up the development of that. Earl Pearson has the interest in it. It's going to be a good chassis. I think we all can agree on that. Your experience with EPJ? Where's his head at with the process of developing this thing? Is he? I mean, with your experience with him, where do you think his head's at this stage of the game?
Well, I mean, I talked to Earl a little bit there at Charlotte the last race, and they definitely had an off year, but they also know that it's a stepping stone. I mean, it's a learning curve, just like anything. They know that it's gonna take a little time. They realize that it's not gonna be overnight, but then again, when you're used to winning 10 races, or so a year, I mean, it's kind of hard, but if anybody can do it, I think Earl can,
Well, yeah, we were actually up in their shop, and goodness, they got a state-of-the-art facility there where they develop the Longhorns and race out of. Between Earl and Neat and what's the guy in Iowa that drives one? I think that they're probably Chad. Yes, right, Chad Simpson. They're due for a good 2012, I would imagine.
Well, there's actually a fourth one. Dustin Linville has one too.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I did know that.
Yeah. Linville has the other one.
And I imagine there's probably a few out there somewhere that you don't really hear about too.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I think that was before that because I kind of talked to them because in the crate ward we're always looking for something better and faster, and that was kind of before they brought up. And sorry about that. I got 2-year-olds screaming.
Oh, nice. So you're going into the consultant deal, Randall, and
yes, sir.
Is that something that are you open to anybody out there that wants to give Randall Edwards a call?
Yeah, as far as if I have the time, I would definitely, be interested in, helping anybody, which I've done a deal to where with this Morgan Bagley in Texas, I'm going to work 2 weekends out of the month with him. I'm going to be at the races with him 2 weekends out of the month. So the other 2 weekends is, kind of open, and just I'm going to try to build a few cars and and try to help a few local people and stuff like that. Just kind of bounce around a little bit and help some people that need some guidance.
So we still gonna see you up here around Florence every now and then.
Oh yeah. That's where I'm based out of. That's where I'm going to be living, and I'm sure I'll be there at some local races and stuff like that.
Well, I got your phone number now, so do I get like a free 30-minute session or something?
We'll talk about that. Yeah.
I just want to know if it comes with $1 million. I just want to know if it comes with $1 million guarantee. That's all.
Yeah.
$1 million guarantee.
Is there a way for any potential clients to get a hold of you?
No. Just my cell phone, or whatever.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. If there's anybody out there that is interested in Mr. Edwards' consulting services, you can contact inthedirtradio@gmail.com, and then in turn I will get you guys connected outside of here. How about that, Mr. Edwards?
Yeah, that'll be fine. I'll just give you my email address, and they can email me, or we can start from there or whatever.
Go ahead and give it out if you want to.
Well, it's rockinrandall29@yahoo.com.
rockinrandall29@yahoo.com. That's for anybody out there looking for Mr. Randall's consulting services. Well, Mr. Edwards, I certainly appreciate you coming on and taking time out after getting off an airplane. I know that's not exactly a prime time to participate, but I really thank you for coming on.
Okay, and I appreciate y'all.
And thank you again, sir, and I hope the Yahoo servers can handle all the email you're about to get.
I'm sure they can.
Well, that's Mr. Randal Edwards, Consulting, and we'll talk to you down the road, Mr. Edwards.
Okay, thank you. Have a good night.
See you, Randall.
I tell you what, that was one of the most interesting calls we've gotten, or guests anyway. We had a caller. They chose not to hold. So I don't know what.
They hung up on you.
Yeah, I was trying to get to them, but I didn't want to be rude to our guests, though. I just can't.
Can't just let them. Was it a 513 area code?
No, it looked an awful lot like the call we got from Nebraska.
Okay.
Because it was all ones. It was 111 111 1111.
I remember that.
I thought it might be coming from Nebraska.
The lady from Nebraska who's the biggest race fan in the world that couldn't name one racetrack in Nebraska.
I mean, she couldn't even lie and say, like, Cornhusker Speedway. That might even be a real track. I don't know.
It might be in Nebraska.
I would think.
Could be.
Who knows? Well, I'm glad the guy called in. I hope I didn't rough him up any.
No, I
was trying to. You cut me off. He was about to tell me what springs to put on my car.
I don't believe so.
You ever give her the old try there, Bri? Give her the try.
I'm always trying. If anybody has any good ideas on how to get some forward drive at Florence Speedway, please email me. I'm open to all ideas.
Hey, when you get done with this, give me a call, Brian, and I'll give you some tips.
Does it have anything to do with xylene and toluene?
All right, I'm going to bring this caller on. But I'm only doing it because they're related to me. I don't know what I'm doing this for. Hello, caller, and what's your name? Where are you calling from?
That would be Bob King from Speedway, Indiana.
Bob King, my stepfather, calling from Speedway, Indiana, home of racing, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Welcome to
yes,
the Dirt.
It is. And you'll be up in Indianapolis meeting Jeff Stoops, my boss, long-time racing guy.
Brian, this is where you step in. This is where you try to get phone numbers.
That right there that's for me. And we're going to talk to Mr. Stoops from Stoops Freightliner.
Actually, I got your name. Go ahead.
I'm on with that.
Jerry Murphy is the name you're supposed to call Brian.
Oh, okay.
But Bob, I'm gonna talk to you guys when I get up to Indianapolis. I got another caller, so tell everybody say hello. We'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, good show.
We'll see you later on this week, Bob.
All right.
All right, we got another caller. Let's bring this other caller on. See, I could bring on my stepdad. That ain't bad. No, they hung up again. The 111 area code hung up again.
Hung up again.
Well, let's do this.
It's one of them days. Hey, dial that number. Just dial all once and see what we get.
I think that's the international sign from blocking. I think they don't want to know who it is.
Right.
So I'm guessing it's your buddy from local.
I hope they call back in. I'm ready to get beat up. Trust me, I got all my pads on.
Hey Brian, I'm gonna guess it's somebody with the initials JS.
JS.
Yep.
Well,
That's the dark cloud. You'll know who I'm talking about. Trinidad's favorite fan.
Oh, okay, I gotcha.
He's talking about one. Let's see, one famous.
Play the intro.
One famous journalist. Let's see here. Gotta get
His journalist, videographer, keyboard warrior,
instigator.
We all pretty good at that. I had a whole house full of them this weekend. We had some things go down, but we had some fun while we were working on things. We shot a bunch of video up here. Went over to my buddy John Sizemore's house, hung out over there for a while, and I guess John took them all to a special place in Liberty Township, and they had a blast because I haven't heard from them since Saturday.
Well, you just get working on your buddy about getting my episode of Crib Shot, and we'll have ourselves a good time.
Will you tell me where we got to go? How far out?
We got to go. Well, Jody's been past there. He's been to Mercer a couple of times. It's about half an hour west of that. It's about an hour south of Cleveland and about an hour and a half west of Pittsburgh. It's in Warren. It's in the northeast corner of Ohio.
It's in the north. Okay, so I got a brother that lives up in St. Clairsville.
Yeah,
that's close.
That's about an hour and a half south. That's not
okay. So you're even farther north than that.
Yeah. I'm above Pittsburgh.
Well, Patrick and Brian, I think we're going to draw this episode of In the Dirt to a close.
All right.
I'd like to thank all the guests who appeared this evening. I'd like to thank Richard Ford, Speedway Video, a good friend of mine, fellow videographer, does a real good job. Look for him on 4M and YouTube. He goes by Flipper13. You certainly can track him down on the media section of 4M.
Mr. Patrick Copeland.
Yes, thank Mr. Patrick Copeland. He filled in tonight where Kyle May let us down. Kyle May, I don't know where you're at tonight, but
we're coming after you, Kyle.
Anytime you guys need me, I'm available. So
I'd like to thank Wesley Outland, the most electrifying announcer in all of the Southeast.
Dude, he took over the show, railroaded us.
That's fine. Hey,
you couldn't slow that guy down for nothing. He was on his way. He knew exactly what he wanted to say, and he was saying it, didn't he?
And he told us when to plant corn over there in the Carolinas with his AccuWeather forecast.
Oh, yeah.
He's like a walking farmer's almanac. He's also asked me to pass along this information through Facebook that tracks are bidding on. I believe I'm going to say this right. If not, you'll be able to find out tomorrow night on his show. But the tracks are going to bid on whether they can have the Grand Nationals. I think that's what he's trying to get across to me. If it's not, tune into Wesley Outland's show tomorrow night, the Fast Track radio show. You'll probably have to go to the Fast Track website to find that. Brian Gray, it's the Indianapolis Trade Show for us next.
Yes, it is.
We'll see you Thursday.
Yep, I'll be up there Thursday at the Lucas Oil Banquet. So anybody that is listening, come look me up. We're going to be there having a good old time, and then I'll be there all day on Friday. We're going to try to see if we can't strike some deals.
I'll still looking for tickets to the Lucas Oil Banquet, if anybody's out there listening who may or may not be able to get two, one for my wife and for myself.
Do you want to go?
I'd love to go. I've been so busy getting ready to go that I've not been able to make phone calls.
Well, call me. I'll tell you who to put you in. I'll put you in contact with the right person.
If you want to be like Hollywood. Well, all right, race fans, I'd like to ask y'all to join us again next Monday night. Brian and I will be... I'm going to try to get some interviews at the show. I'm going to do some audio stuff at the show. Run into Brian. Me, you, and Kyle will do some things. But we'll recap the Indianapolis Trade Show next week. And
next Monday.
Next Monday night. I'll be driving in Sunday, get rested up Monday. But for all of us here at In the Dirt, we're out of here.